am going to be walking you through the newest parts of the release for the Kentucky School Report Card today, and I'm going to keep my camera off so that the entirety of the recording is taking up the screen for the system so that we're not blocking any of that out. As we get started, this is going to be over the collection and approval tool. We talked about the collection tools last time, so this one is going to focus more on the approval piece of the system. Just some reminders, like while I am doing this, I will be in the test environment. So any data entered or any like flags raised that happen in the system will not impact what you see in production. So that's just a reminder I wanted to put out there again this time. And we're going to land on the homepage as usual. I'm going to have a couple of reminders about the collection piece that we worked on last time. Particularly that there is that 15-minute lag that also impacts the preview and approval process. And then we're going to talk about the preview page and go through the approval pieces of the system, go back over the help things, and then we'll have time for questions. Once you log in, as always, you're going to land on this home page that has all your information that you need as far as upcoming dates, when things are going to be released, when your deadlines are for your data in your state. And as I mentioned before, we talked about this collection piece, and I know y'all have been in there putting in your collection data. So as you are adding your collection data on these pages, it does feed into this preview page that we're going to spend a lot of time on today. But there, just like there is that lag from taking the collection data into the school profile report, that same lag happens going from the collection data into the preview. So it'll take about 15 minutes after you enter that data into your collection piece before it starts showing up on your preview pages. So we're going to go over all of the things that you're going to be seeing on the preview page and how all of these pieces function. So when you land on the page, you will always have your left navigation menu on the page, and you will also always have your drop downs at the top of the page. And it doesn't matter where you navigate in the preview section, those pieces will stay on the screen. So you can always have access to those and change your views and change what you're seeing and navigate from one domain to the next, no matter where you are in this particular module of the system. The preview or the left navigation menu has the domains showing up on that you're going to be showing up in the school report card. You do see more domains in the test system than what you see in your production system, because some of these, like the school accountability, academic performance, and the CTE pieces are not open for you yet, but they will be at some point. They're just all in test because we're always looking at everything and getting it ready for you all to do your thing. So when you select a domain, you will see the overview is bolded and the icon has a color on it, and the page name also matches what you see in the left navigation menu. So you will always kind of know where you are. The navigation menu can only have one domain open at a time. So if I select a different domain, you will see the overview closes, and now the educational opportunity domain is open. So you will only ever see subpages for one domain at a time. We're going to spend most of this walkthrough in the overview pages because the functionality works the same no matter which domain you're looking at. So we're just going to kind of stay in this one for the most part so that we're not skipping all over the place. When you land on your preview page on the overview, what you see will depend on what your roles and permissions are. So I am logged in as the district admin user. So as that, my default is to see all the data for the district. If you are a school user, you will, when you land on this page, you will also have the school set to whatever school that you're assigned to. And your data will reflect only your school as opposed to the district, which will show the data for the entire district. So you can see there is a difference in the layout and how the pages function if you are a school user as opposed to having a district role. So on this page and on every page, you'll notice on your data that there is this flag icon next to your headings. So that is a way for you to draw attention to data if there is something that does not look right, or if something is incorrect, if on the summary page, if there's an email that's not matching, if the principal's email is wrong, then you can flag that data so that somebody else can be alerted to the fact that there's an issue that needs to be looked at. If it is a white flag with the black outline, then nobody has flagged that data, and everything to our knowledge up to that point is the way it should be. If we go back to the districts page, you will see this district overview flag is red. It's a solid color, you can't see an outline. If there is a solid color flag, that means somebody has raised it because there is an issue. And I'm sure when you're looking at this page, you can pretty much tell what the issue is, because this is Jefferson County, that is a huge school district with 94,000 students, and it's only showing that there are 4 teachers. So someone flagged this showing that there's an issue. And if you click on that flag, you can see what the comment was about the data. So this one, the number of teachers is 4, which doesn't seem feasible. So you can look at the comments and see what other people have reported about the data by just clicking on it if the flag is raised. So we're going to pop over here to the students page. And we're going to go through the process of raising a flag, and then I'm going to show you how to edit or clear one. So the student membership, you can see we have a flag that is raised. And if I open this box, the text box again, you can see there's this message here. I can make edits to this message. And if I click submit, it will save that additional information in addition to what was originally there. So you can build the comments as you are reviewing data. If I click cancel, I've seen the message, I don't need to do anything else to it. If I click cancel, nothing changes. Your flag is still raised and the information is still saved for other people to look at. If there's a reason for this flag to not be raised, like if maybe I clicked on the wrong flag and I should have been flagging the student enrollment as opposed to student membership, I can go in here and I can clear the feedback. And if I clear this button or click this button, it clears the comments out. I still have to click submit or cancel after I clear the feedback to finish the process. If I click cancel, it keeps the comments there and doesn't do anything to change the flag. But if I clear feedback and click submit, then you will see my flag is no longer red. It is now back to being the white flag with the outline. So that data is no longer marked as having an issue. So if I want to go down here and flag my student enrollment data, you'll see there is read-only information at the top that tells you like where you're saving this data, what school year it's in, what your district is, and what your school is. That will always be consistent on these pop-ups at the top of that box, so you can know where you're adding your data to. And I can add our feedback and submit that, and now this flag has been raised. And there is a table up here in the approval menu where as soon as I raise a flag, it shows up on this review flag reports page. And we will go into more detail on that later on in this training, but just know whenever you flag something, it does automatically get moved and put on this review flag reports page. So that's a process that happens instantly. So going back to our preview page, there are drop downs for most of our tables. You'll see that this one is, since I'm still at the district level, this one is showing all grades pre-K through 14. And so if I click on this drop down, you can see where these are actually multi-select drop downs, and I can filter this table to only show the grade levels that I want to see, as opposed to showing me every single one of them. So if I check off select all, I can, if I just want to see my pre-K, K, and grade 1, I select those, I click off, and it automatically updates the view of the table to only show those ones that I am wanting to look at. This filter is responsive. So right now it's showing all grades because I have district in all schools. But if I switch this drop down to an elementary school, then the options on the drop down will reflect that this now only goes up to grade 5 because it's an elementary school. So the drop downs are responsive, and you will be able to make those views and options depending on who you're logged in and what your roles and permissions are, but you can further filter that it's by just clicking off and on your checkboxes. And all of your tables in the system have this feature. So you'll see the student enrollment also has one, and secondary enrollment doesn't have any data. So anywhere there's a table, you have this option for you to see how much or how little data you see on these charts. So one of the other is, let's put this back up to all schools. One of the other functionality pieces in the preview section is the ability to suppress data. So you'll see while this is loading, these suppression toggles are on all of the charts on the student group page. So if I go down here to my table on students with disabilities, and this may be a table that I want to see what the suppressed data is. So if I want to know what this is going to look like on the public facing school report card, I can click on this toggle to turn the suppression on, and you will see that all of these areas that the data is too small for you to report now show as being a star, so you don't give away the identity of your students. If I want to go back to seeing all of the data, I can just click the suppression toggle again, and it will send it back to being all numeric, as opposed to having that suppression turned on. Additionally, like some tables, like the students with disabilities, you may have multiple ways that you can look at that data. So the default on this one is showing by grade level, but if I want to look at my students with disabilities by their disability category, I can click on the category one, and it changes the table to display the disability categories and how many students fall into that identification. Not all tables have the multiple tabs like the students with disabilities do, but it is a function of some of the tables if that is how the data is collected. So if I go over here to faculty, staff, and community, I'm going to click on this parental involvement, because this is one of those data collection pieces that the schools are doing from the collection menu. And since I am logged in as a district and my school is showing all schools, when I click on one of these items that the schools are inputting information for, it tells me that this report is not applicable for this type of organization, or there is no data. If I come up here and go to an individual school who has been entering their data, then this report will show up with the information that the schools are inputting. So you can view that school collection data from the preview page, and you can see that logged in as the district or as the school who's inputting the data. There are some domains that use charts and graphs as opposed to showing tables. So if I drop down here to the school safety domain, you can see where this one has a pie chart and it has the bar chart. So if I hover over the different pieces of the graph, it will show, it'll give me more information about the graphs, the data that is showing in the chart. And it works for both different colors. And this is the school side because I'm still on the Alex R. Kennedy Elementary. If I go back up to all schools, then the district will see what these numbers look like throughout the entire district. So these displays do change as well based on whether you're looking at the school or the district level data. And you'll see the bar chart also. If you hover over the bar, it will give you the extra information. So that covers most of the functionality pieces that you will see and be encountering when you're working through the preview pages. We are now going to jump over here to this view flagged reports that I alluded to a minute ago when I was turning the flags off and on. So this is available to both school and district users, and it is defaulting to the district that I'm assigned to. And this, again, being the test system, this is sometimes slow to load. So we'll give it, there it goes. So this is where when you flag data on the preview page, it comes over here and gets put on this table automatically. So we have multiple drop downs for you to filter the data because you may not want to see all the flags that are showing up in your district or in your school at the same time. So I can decide if I want to see all of the domains that are available on those preview pages, or maybe I'm just looking specifically for data that has been flagged on the overview page. So I select whichever domain I want to use and I click the OK button. And then you will see that now the data that is showing up on the table is all from the overview domain. Now that I've selected the overview domain, it automatically updates the section to only show options available that are part of the overview page. So the section group report, all of these drop downs are responsive and they will react and change what is available as you select filters that are one level up from them. So if maybe I want to see faculty, staff, and community, I select OK, and now I'm only seeing the flags that are in faculty, school, and or faculty, staff, and community options. And you will see, because I'm at the district level, I'm showing all the schools. If I was only assigned as a school user to Dixie Elementary, that's the only one that I would see after I was working through like my filters. So one of the other things I want to draw your attention to is the flag status one defaults to raised. There are other options on this menu. You can see the raised, the no flag, and the all, because the school district that I'm looking in and the overview faculty section only have raised flags or no flag. If I reset these to all, you will see I have more options on this flag status because I'm now looking at all the flags that are happening in the district. So there was no cleared flags or no lowered flags when I was looking at the faculty, staff, and community faculty counts page. But now that I'm back to seeing the entire chart, there are flags that have been cleared and there are flags that have been lowered. So they are now options for me on this drop down. So what you see on the flag status drop down will directly link to your school in your district and what types of flags are happening in that district. So on this table, there are, next to the flag status and response headings, you will see a pencil. That means that those columns are editable. And there are two different ways to do this. And I'm gonna walk you through both methods of editing. So if you were in the meeting before and when we went over the superintendent message piece, you just double clicked in the field and you could start typing in it. And then this works the same way. So if I type my response directly into the field, I can then, if I click X, it just deletes it out and it's like I never typed anything. If I click the check mark, then it updates the table to show my response. Hopefully it kicks in soon. The flag status one is also can be edited. It's not going to let me edit it while it's still thinking, but the same thing applies. If you double click in it, it will allow you to edit the flag status.
Gina, while it's doing this, do you mind if I jump in? This is Dee Dee from
Yep,
Katie.
go for it.
So I just wanted to tell those of you that are watching today, KDE is planning to respond to your raised flags if it's an issue for KDE. And you may have some that your district might respond to, but from a KDE standpoint, we'll include our response there. If we think the issue is resolved, we're going to lower the flag. So it'll be important for you when you look at flag statuses to both look at raised, kind of monitor your raised and monitor your lowered flags. We'll have a response in there. We won't just lower a flag without a response. But you'll see that in there from KDE. If we think it's okay, or you're looking at it wrong, or we've reloaded a file, we think that will fix it, we will lower it. If you need to re-raise the flag because you find out that it didn't take care of something, you will have the capability of doing that. But I just wanted to let you know that's more of a operational process versus the system, but I wanted to let you know what to expect from a KDE standpoint and the data stewards looking at this.
Thank you, Dee Dee. So it kicked in. Now you can see where I added the response, and it's documents that this is the district admin login that I'm using, so that it shows the login, who the user is, along with the date and the time that the response was edited. I can go in and you'll see where I've done it on this one. You can add multiple responses into one field. So there was originally the test response, and then I came in and said response to the response. So you can have multiple people go in and respond to flags. As far as the raising the status, you can, again, you can double click in it. And you have the option of lowering it or returning it to there being no flag. So to what Dee Dee was saying, as KDE is monitoring these, if they respond and think that the issue has been taken care of, they will come in here, they will lower the flag. And then once it's lowered and the system goes through this process to update the table, it will no longer show because I'm still looking at a raised flag status. If I want to go back to and look at the flags that have been lowered, I will come back in here to this drop down and I can see where they've been lowered, what the response was. And then I can, if I think there's still an issue, I can, from this lowered table, come in here and I can re-raise the flag. And if I do that, it will then remove it from this lowered status and put it back on the raised status table. So the other option on the flag status is cleared. And when I was going through the preview pages, I did clear out a flag. And if I want to go back in and see those cleared flags, I can. So when someone clears a flag, it no longer shows it on the preview page, but there is still a record of it in these review flag reports table that there was a flag there at one point that was cleared. So it will track that. It's not going to completely disappear if you do clear a flag from the preview pages. So there is one other way to edit on this page, and it allows you to edit multiple fields at a time. So if you put your cursor in the header, you'll see a little pencil icon button that appears in the top right corner of the table. So if I click that, I get this option to update data. So I select the update data, and a highlighted box goes around the table, and this means I'm in edit mode and I can update multiple fields at a time. So if I go in here, once I have that response in there, it highlights the row and it puts a box around the information that I just changed. And I can raise and lower flags, and I can create responses to as many fields as I want to at whenever I have it in edit mode like this. So once I have all of the fields edited that I need to, I click update, and it's automatically updates all of them at the same time. That way I can do that without having to click in every single individual cell. I can update multiple ones at once if I know there is going to be a flag status and response change for the same row, or if there are multiple ones that are going to get updated at the same time. So like I said, as information is flagged in preview, it will automatically show up on this page, and state, district, and school users all have access to this page and all have the ability to respond and change the flag status. And so this is kind of where you will track all of that information, and instead of having to like click through the entire preview section of the system, trying to figure out where flags are. This is a central place where you can go to see all of the flags that are happening in your location. So once you have gone through and previewed your data, taken care of any flags, and everything looks the way you are expecting it to look through the preview pages, then you will come to this approval menu again and click on the update approval status. And this is where you can document whether or not you have approved the data as is in the system. And because I'm on the district admin side, then it's showing me just the district level. But as I go through and if I'm a school, then I will only be able to approve my data for my school. So this, again, you'll see your pencil icon that works just like it does on the review flag reports page that we were just on. So this is telling you that this column is editable. If I double click, I can approve, and then I can check and my status will update. If I update data, I can do multiple ones just like I can do on the review flag reports page. So as I am updating data on the report card preview page, the district and state have access to this monitor approval progress page. Schools are not going to see this one because they see their approval data just on their page, like the one you can see where I'm on right now. So the districts and states don't have to like individually look at every single school. They have this option to go to the monitor approval progress page. And you have just the district level view. So it will show all the schools in your districts. So if we look at this Alex Kennedy, it's showing school safety is approved, which is one of the ones I approved The other ones that I approved are not showing up on this table yet. So this is where it automatically updates on this table whenever a school or district updates their data on this page. So this one talks to the monitor approval progress page, and it's again, it's the instant communication. So as soon as a school updates their approval status, it will show up on the monitor approval status for the district to be able to get a holistic view and see what schools have updated which domains of data and which ones they've approved. As with the first release, there are help documents in the help menu. They're not showing up in the test system, but they are showing up in your production system. So if you need guidance on how to operate within the preview page, the flag reports, the update approval process, or this page, the progress page, then you can access those documents in your production site. And then again, we have the contact information if you need help desk assistance or need to know where to get help from KDE with any of your data pieces. All that information is on the contact us page. So I don't have any other things to show you. That was the quick overview of all the new pieces that got released this week. So at this point, we will open it up to questions.
Any questions on the functionality of the system?
Amanda, I know it's part of the collection tool, but we did have a question about the superintendent message.
Yeah, and I did respond in the chat as well, but Gina, will you hover over the help menu there, please? And then the user guides. Yeah, there, right under there was a question about the superintendent's message. There is a quick reference guide there on the superintendent's message. So I know there was a question around that being a first time for a user, so. Any other questions or ways that we can help you? Dee Dee, I know you jumped in on some KDE process pieces earlier in the call, but anything from a KDE perspective that you want to make sure users hear today?
No, I think you all did a very good job of covering the system. I think it's similar in domain wise to the previous system, but there's some new functionality that's very nice that'll help us with flagging items and follow-up. So appreciate all the work that's been done by Anlar. We do, have KDE data stewards that'll be watching this. If you don't know who to contact and you don't get a response, don't hesitate to reach out to the data point of contact that's listed in the collector items or the QA report. There's a KDE point of contact for every data element, so you can reach out directly via email there too if you have questions. The contacts here cover a lot of them, but not all of the contacts. But if you open that quality assurance worksheet, you will see KDE contacts within that document also.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Yes, ma'am. When is everything due? I don't see this, it has to be due by this date on any materials. And I may be I'm probably just overlooking it, but.
What we've sent out is we've asked folks to finish the collector items in the review by November 8th.
November 8th. Thank you very much.
2 weeks before the public release is scheduled, November 20th. We
Yes.
have a little bit of flexibility, but we usually try to have a soft close earlier to allow KDE to kind of do some, looking at some things and making sure that we do have approvals from all districts and have some follow-up time. So there's a little bit of flexibility in that date, but that's our target date right now. So from a KDE standpoint, we're going to give you the time that you all need. With fall breaks right now, it's obviously not an ideal time for this to come out. Then you've got you've got holidays coming up and so forth. So, but we're trying to get that done before the holidays and then give us some time to do some follow-up work before the final public release.
Okay, and one more question. Well, the accountability system, I know that, used to be in past years, the school report card came out, with the assessment data and all of that. Well, that after November 8 or after I guess the 20th, the public release, will all that information be merged together or?
Well, tomorrow, the data for assessment accountability goes out public release, but that's just in
Correct.
only. You'll actually see that data in this card before it goes out to public release. We're targeting, the end of
Gotcha.
October timeframe to open up. You might see the CTE data because if you haven't already noticed, the career and technical education data has been kind of all combined into one domain. It had been split up in different areas before, so we've combined that into one domain. That may come out first, and then assessment accountability data will come out. So you'll have a chance to see it. You're also seeing everything right now in tables. We'll be rolling out and let you get a preview of the trend charts and the comparison type of charts that you'll be able to see in the tool as we get there. So we're rolling this out in stages. First was the collection, now is the preview so that you can start validating data. But there'll be some additional releases. We don't have specific dates on all that right now because it's work in progress.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate your help. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
I am a new assistant principal and I do not have access to this yet. Is that something my district can help me do, or is there someone I need to reach out to specifically to gain access?
Yes, if you reach out to your district WAPOC, and if you don't know who that is, if you check our openhouse.education.ky.gov and look for the school directory, the WAPOC, it stands for the Web Application Administrator Point of Contact. Local districts have one. They can set you up for permissions to the school report card. We defaulted a lot of roles, so more roles default automatically, but we kind of left it at principal, superintendent for the administrative level roles. And then for users, we did school report card contacts, DAX, and some other contacts did default. All that information is explained on our user role documentation that's out there on our KDE website. If you search for SLC, Kentucky School Report Card Resources, or SRC Resources, you should find that page if you haven't, or it's also linked in our communications. And there is a document that explains how to set everything up if your WAPOC's not familiar with it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Right.
Any other questions before we let you all go? Okay, well, if functionality questions do pop up, you can feel free to reach out to the On Their Help Desk. If there are more process related questions or data related questions, you can point those to the applicable KDE contact. Just a reminder, this will be recorded and that will be provided in communication that will come out from KDE. So you can watch for that. That'll come out by the end of the week. And thank you all so much. I hope the rest of your Wednesday goes well and have a great week ahead. Bye-bye now.
One more reminder that you do have
Yes.
office hours on Friday and again next week. So if there are questions and you just need to pop in to ask somebody, those are great opportunities for doing that too. So Friday from
Yes.
11 to 1, and I think it's next Wednesday, same time.
Yes, this Friday, October 4th from 11 to 1, and then again, Wednesday, October 9th, same time, 11 to 1. Thank you, Dee Dee, for that reminder. All right, I think that's everything. Now maybe we'll let you go. All right, you all have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye now.